The Waxman D minor excerpt is titled Valse Lentiment. So this excerpt is by Bohm. Bohm was a German composer who lived in the late 1800s, and he probably wrote this originally for trumpet. There's a few points to be made here. This is in D minor, so make sure that you really know your D minor scale. That will help you a lot. And it's actually in harmonic minor, so there's a raised 7th scale degree, the C sharp, and you'll notice that a lot in the music. Also watch the dynamics and the tempo. The dynamics are really important. Whoever's listening to this will actually need to hear all of these changes. There's crescendos and decrescendos that are written in, and they're important for the actual music and phrase structure. The tempo can be about a dotted quarter note equals 62 plus or minus depending on what works for you. The idea here is that you've got a nice feel in 3 and you're able to actually play these groups of 3 notes in a legato fashion, like this. That's also a pretty nice example of the crescendo-decrescendo function. There's a few alternate positions that are marked in the PDF that I provided for this. I'd just like to point out a couple of things. The first one is in measure 23. You can play the D in 4th position, the C sharp in 5th position, and then back to the B in 4th position, then facilitating that movement without having to go back into 1st position. In measure 38 and 39, the B flat can actually be played in 5th position, and then you can actually play the lower B flat in the valve 3rd position lowered, because this is 2nd partial. So you have to make sure these are in tune, but they actually help a lot with the slide positions. Then in measure 40, you can do the same thing with the valve 3rd position to facilitate the lower B flat. Finally, at the end, there's a trill. And this is always kind of a weird thing for trombone players. Some trombone players have a really easy time trilling and others don't. A couple of recommendations I would have: stay away from using the valve to make the trill happen. It's not really a real trill, and even though it may sound cleaner than your trill at first, it's not going to really work in the context of the piece. So I'd recommend trying to do this as a lip trill, and you can practice this lots of different ways. The first step is to get a very fast lip slur. Once you've kind of mastered that lip slur from A to C sharp, then you can start to think about how that might fit in as a trill. Now the trill doesn't really go up to the C sharp, but we're going to kind of bend it with the lip in order to make that happen and facilitate it. It's also important to have the grace note coming from the B flat before the A, and then as you leave the trill, there's a turn from B flat to A, G to B, G to A. And it's important to make this sound like one consecutive movement at the end of the work. Thank you for watching this video. For more information, contact Dr. Benjamin Yates at 337-482-5319 or at benjamin.yates@louisiana.edu.